A new book by authors Paul Waldman and Tom Schaller claims that voters in the South are actually the biggest threats to democracy. I've got independent newspaper publisher Rick Outzen with me to explain what a crazy statement. I mean, you know what, Rick? I looked at this article, I looked at the interviews that they did with him, I tried to find that golden side to what they were saying. It was bullshit. I mean, that's all I can do is tell you. And can I tell you, Waldman, I like the guy. We've interviewed him. Farron Cousins has interviewed him. I've interviewed him over the years. He's actually brilliant. I was so disappointed to see him involved with this, where the diatribe is it's just partisan hatred. I don't know how else to describe it. Like we're damn Southern idiots who are driven only uniquely by racism and misogynism. It just goes on forever. And I want to just say, really? This is how you're going to break through, by telling us that everybody in urban America are a bunch of idiots?
Right. Well, it breaks it down to the argument is that rural America, we are just too stupid. Our values are inconsistent with American core principles, and that we're waiting on Democrats to rescue us. And they've come back with the magic formula. We need to elect better Republicans, which, Mike, we heard this argument 40 years ago when Republicans were complaining and bitching about Democrats, blacks voting with Democrats all the time, or Hispanics voting, that they're not electing the right Democrats. What did the Republican Party do? They started listening more.
Yeah, that's exactly, as evil as Lee Atwater was,
right. He
listened. He didn't go out there and say, look, you guys are just a bunch of losers, hate-filled losers that have no, and he's not just talking about the South. You understand? He's talking about the entire United States that's urban. Okay, so what is it? What is it that he says these folks are focused on, that if we don't do something about, democracy is going to fail? He says, I can't believe they focus on CRT or DEI or college professors or Antifa or California or New York. Look, the point is this. We've become so divided in this country that these writers actually felt comfortable basically pulling a Hillary Clinton, the deplorable argument. That's all this is.
Well, and they're getting touted for it. Yeah, they're getting touted in the mainstream media by the elites.
This is brilliant. This is absolutely brilliant.
They found something really unique. And this argument's been used over and over again for one group of people against another. I mean, the other thing that's really insulting, Mike, in looking at it, is they talk about the brain drain. That so many young white people have left.
Look at the demographics.
Have left the rural country.
Yeah, look at the demographic. Look at the movement back to the rural areas.
Well, that's what they're not. They don't want to admit that. And the other assumption is because they leave, because they get better educated. This is their view: is that the core values of the rural part of our country are so bad. Look, it doesn't work that way.
We can disagree. I mean, we can disagree. Farron Cousins and I have been doing shows together since he was 21 years old. And, he doesn't agree with me on most things. I don't agree with him on a lot of stuff. But we don't attack each other. We can disagree and we can still have an intelligent conversation without it digressing into attacking intelligence, attacking faith, attacking passion. That's what's happening here. That these are qualities that we're going to attack because in our elitist ivory tower, we see it as a drag on democracy. This is just nothing more than the Hillary Clinton deplorable attack. And you know what? It cost Hillary badly. And if candidates believe that this is something they're going to tie into and they're going to make this they're talking about, it's a mistake. I remember, you might have even done this story. I think you might have. We did an article on, it was when we did the Ed Schultz radio show. And it was talking about an analysis that was done of liberals. And it said, they tried to make it look like it was a mental illness.
Right.
Okay, the mental illness of liberals. They were total left brain without capacity for precise analysis. They had an overwhelming tendency to be angry and unhappy. Do you remember this?
Right.
They were unimaginable. They could not handle objective evaluation if they disagreed with it. It goes on and on. This was an evaluation by these so-called shrink sociologists who were telling us what the mind of a liberal looks like. We attacked that then.
Right.
We said, this is ridiculous. I'm attacking this right now. This is ridiculous.
Well, we have to. I mean, we look, they blame rural white America for not voting Democratic. Well, look at how little time Democrat candidates spend in the South.
Talk about that.
Because here, we're in Pensacola. This is definitely Republican stronghold, a lot of independent voters. You know, over, the last 20 years, 25 years, we've had George W. Bush, George H.W. Bush, we had Mitt Romney, John McCain, Donald Trump, all come here, hold huge rallies. Not one Democratic presidential candidate
Well, I mean, can you
has
blame?
been here.
But the point is this: your point is they want to say that, and it's again, they're not talking just about the South here. You know, you got rural right outside New York City.
But it's talking about my home,
Yeah,
so
but it's talking about
that's why
he did talk about your home, Mississippi. It called white rural rage and how it's destroying democracy. If candidates believe this is a selling point and this is a positive thing to be talking about in elections, boy, are they in for a surprise.
Right.
Rick, thanks for joining me, okay?
Glad to be here.
That's all for this week, but all these segments will be posted right here on this channel in the coming week, so make sure you subscribe. I'm Mike Papantonio, and this has been America's Lawyer, where we tell you stories every week that corporate media won't tell you because they're advertisers. They won't allow it. They just won't allow them to tell the stories without them losing advertising dollars, or their political connections don't allow for it. They're either so Republican or so Democrat that they can't shake the tree at all. They can't say anything that colors outside those lines. Obviously, we don't have that problem here. Hope to see you next time.